Challenge coins. What are they? Where do they come from? Depending on where you look or who you ask, you might find some really different answers. Some people will tell you about how they got their first coin, and others might give the story about a lieutenant from World War I who made bronze coins for his airmen. But the actual history of challenge coins is a bit of a mystery. The oldest stories have a campfire quality to them, a bit of adventure, a touch of suspense, and a whole lot of embellishment. Today, we want to share a few of those stories with you. Hopefully we'll be able to nail down the facts about challenge coin history so you know for sure where all of today's custom coins come from. And to start, we're heading back a little farther than you might expect, all the way to ancient Rome. If you do a quick Google search for challenge coin history or the history of challenge coins, you're going to find a lot of articles that talk about the World War I lieutenant that we mentioned earlier. Don't worry, we'll get to him. In those articles, you might see a couple of lines indicating that a version of challenge coins were present in ancient Rome. It's usually presented something like this. If a Roman soldier performed well on the battlefield, he would receive his daily wage and an additional coin in recognition of his valor. This extra coin, or bonus coin, is said to have been struck with an image of the legion's bronze eagle and a mint mark of the legion unit the soldier was attached to. This made them extra special, so any soldier who earned a bonus coin would not spend it. Instead, he would keep the coin as a mark of honor, similar to challenge coins of today. Nothing we can find indicates that Roman soldiers who performed above and beyond on the battlefield were giving any special coin after battle. However, we did find some interesting information about Roman coinage in general that might shed some light on how it plays a role in challenge coin history. A Roman soldier's salary was paid in silver coins called denarius. During the time of Julius Caesar, soldiers didn't have a typical daily wage, or even a bi-weekly wage, because their salary was paid in 3 installments spread throughout the year. Something else we discovered is that coin minting and warfare were tightly linked during the Roman Empire. For example, Mark Antony, that guy who married Cleopatra and whose rivalry with Octavian after the death of Julius Caesar started a civil war? Yeah, that guy. He minted his own legionary denarius to pay soldiers in his army between 44 and 31 BCE. And he wasn't the only one minting his own coins to pay soldiers. Antony's silver coins were specially engraved for different units in his army. The denarius minted for Antony's army feature a galley on one side, which could be Antony's flagship, and an abbreviation of Antony's name above it. The other side features a depiction of the legion's bronze eagle, with Roman numerals indicating the unit that the coins were delivered to. Could this be the bonus coin that so many people have referenced when talking about challenge coin history? The answer? Probably not. These were just regular denarius used to pay soldiers throughout the legion, not bonus coins. Fun fact, the annual salary of a Roman soldier in Antony's army was about 225 denarius, and with the quotient of silver in a denarius worth somewhere between $3 and $4 today, that means that soldiers were only paid about $900 in today's money. Yikes. Now, this doesn't account for inflation and the fact that $900 would stretch a lot further back then than it does today, and it doesn't account for the fact that while there might only be $4 worth of silver in a denarii, these days most of them sell at auction for a much higher price, but I digress. Another example of Roman coinage minted for a specific group of people are the sestertius given to the Praetorian Guard by Emperor Caligula. The Praetorian Guard were bodyguards stationed around the capital to protect the emperor. Upon the rise of Emperor Caligula, each member of the Praetorian Guard was presented with 1,000 bronze sestertius. Some of these coins were minted with a unique image of Emperor Caligula addressing the cohorts, or units, of Praetorian Guardsmen. Both the sestertius and the denarius are examples of currency used in ancient Rome that were sometimes custom made for individual groups of soldiers, whether it be mint marks or unique relief images. So does this explain the origins of today's challenge coins? Maybe. It's possible that some Roman soldiers who received coins from different generals and emperors looked up to their leaders and kept a few of these unique coins as a way to honor their service and remember their unit, kind of like how soldiers today hold on to a commander coin they earn while in service. The general narrative of challenge coin history skips the next couple of thousand years, and we end up in the 20th century right in the middle of World War I. A rich lieutenant commissioned a set of solid bronze coins for the pilots under his command. As the lieutenant prepared his men for a dangerous mission that would take them over enemy territory, he handed out the coins and put his own coin in a leather pouch around his neck. During the mission, the lieutenant's plane was damaged by ground fire, and he was forced to land behind enemy lines. He survived the crash, but was captured by a German patrol. The Germans took his uniform and all of his identification, but they left the pouch strung around his neck. That night, the Germans who were holding the lieutenant came under fire, and the lieutenant managed to escape. However, when he reached a French village, the French soldiers there thought he was a German spy and sentenced him to death. Talk about bad luck. But all was not lost. The lieutenant still had the leather pouch and his squadron coin. He showed the coin to his new French captors, and one of them recognized the emblem. This was enough to delay the execution so that they could properly identify the lieutenant, and then he was finally reunited with his squadron. As we said earlier, this is the most widely spread origin story about challenge coins, but it's also the one with the least amount of evidence to back it up. So far, we haven't been able to figure out which flying squadron made the coins, or what the emblem looked like on the coins. And the oldest article we could find that referenced the story at all was only published in 2005. Every time we've found this story in an article about challenge coin history, it's referenced as a legend. We've had no luck tracing it to a reliable historical source, but if you have any more information, share it with us in the comments. For now, let's jump ahead a few more decades and take a look at the oldest unit coin we've been able to find. It's the 1950s, and America is in the midst of the Korean War. The commander of the 17th Infantry Regiment at this time is Colonel William Quinn. Quinn decided to mint special medallions for his soldiers before deployment. On one side, they feature the 17th Infantry emblem with the year of deployment above it, and on the other side, a buffalo standing over the year 1812. A lot of them have small holes cut out toward the top of the coin, allowing the soldiers to wear them like medallions around their necks with a string or chain. The buffalo is a reference to the name Buffalo Bill, which was the radio call sign given to Quinn by the 17th Infantry Division commander. The year 1812 is a special nod to the year that the original 17th Infantry Regiment was formed. You can still find these coins today, and they've become sought-after collector's items. The oldest coins were minted between 1950 and 1951, but more were struck and distributed to members of the 17th Infantry Regiment all the way through the 1960s. These are the oldest unit coins we've been able to find, and most definitely predecessors of today's challenge coins. But the challenge part of challenge coins didn't come until a little later. The Vietnam War is our next big stop in the history of challenge coins. We found an article published in the August 1994 issue of Soldiers magazine titled Coining a Tradition that describes how challenge coins started in the 1960s among members of the 11th Special Forces Group. Apparently, a member of the unit collected some old coins and stamped over them with a new emblem before handing them out to members of his team. After that, a commander of the 10th Special Forces Group took the idea and ran with it, having official coins minted for his unit. The article goes on to report that the 10th Special Forces Group was the only Army unit with its own challenge coin until the 1980s. In the 1980s, challenge coins became extremely popular throughout the entire military, seemingly out of nowhere. But it all started with the 10th Special Forces Group, who got the idea from the 11th Special Forces Group, who might have been inspired by a World War I lieutenant, who may not have existed, who may have been inspired by ancient Romans, but I digress again. The article also describes how the challenge part of challenge coins began during the Vietnam War with coins made for the 10th and 11th Special Forces Groups. Soldiers were asked or challenged to present their unit coins as proof of their belonging to a specific unit. If they couldn't produce a coin, then they would have to buy a round of drinks. Owing your buddies a round of beer when you're not able to pull out a unit coin is a pretty common tradition, even today, but it's not always about buying drinks. The challenge can be for pretty much anything, and when you don't have your coin, you get whatever the detail might be. But what about beer? Why is that the challenge that most people are familiar with? We haven't been able to nail down a source for this one, but we've heard one story that lines up pretty well with our timeline. According to a few articles we found, during the Vietnam War, there was an Army infantry-ran bar that tried to keep out anyone who had not seen combat by making non-infantrymen buy drinks for the whole bar if they came in. At first, the only way to prove that you had actually seen combat was to carry an enemy bullet with you and slap it down on the bar if anyone challenged you. Things got out of hand pretty fast though. Soldiers began trying to one-up each other by bringing larger bullets, grenades, rockets, and other types of explosives and slapping them on the counter whenever they got a chance. This led to the commanders of the infantry units overstamping old coins with unit emblems so the soldiers could use the coins instead of using live ammunition for these bullet checks. The accounts of this happening line up with the reports of the overstamped coins created for the 11th Special Forces Group during the Vietnam War. But again, we're not sure if this story is entirely true. All this brings us back to today, and the only question left is, what exactly are challenge coins? Well, challenge coin history gives us the answer. While some of the earlier accounts may be nothing more than legend or myth, the stories illustrate what challenge coins have become. If you believe the stories, the Roman bonus coin was proof of a soldier's courage and was carried with pride. The coins created by the lieutenant back in World War I were a source of identity, proof that you belonged to the team. Buffalo Bill's unit coins from the Korean War were a celebration of team history, and the coins created to replace the bullet checks during the Vietnam War were a symbol of camaraderie shared among soldiers even during the toughest times. Today, challenge coins do all of these things. The designs include inside jokes, unique emblems, and mottos that help tell a team's story. And if there's one thing that we know for sure, it's that every challenge coin has a unique story to tell. And the popularity of the coins has helped them spread outside of the military into the entertainment industry, the corporate sector, and among firefighters, police officers, and club members from all kinds of different organizations. If you have a collection of challenge coins or a fun story about challenge coins, share it with us in the comments. For more on challenge coins, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll be bringing you more insight about challenge coins and the world of custom coins in general. We'll see you next time.